Listen, this is the quiet fall of U.S. passport power and the Nomad 2026 visas that are taking its place. I've come across quite interesting information today about new Nomad visas, but if your U.S. passport is not as powerful, if you are not already an expat, then can you really be in line to get these opportunities that are abroad as the world starts to turn to a multipolar system? Remember the era of fast lanes, minimal questions, and assumed credibility that came with the US passport? Well, my friend, that era is ending because there was no announcement, no press conference, no updates that would tell you, hey, the US dollar and the US passport are crashing. President Trump, remember, recalled 30 ambassadors across the world, mostly within Africa and Asia. But these subtle shifts that frequent travelers, expat entrepreneurs, and retirees face are about more than just fear or just fear mongering. This is about power reallocation. And in 2026, that quiet power is moving away from single country dominance towards conditional mobility. Now, here's the thing. Passport power was never about the book. It was about trust in a system, trust and global dominance, because a passport doesn't work just because the paper and the emblem that are on the cover of the passport. Instead, it works because of what the issuing country represents to the world at that time. For the US, that meant three core things in the old era. Number one, economic stability, which is so clearly out the window with the utter crash of Bitcoin, the US dollar, gold, silver, all the things are just going crazy right now. But I'm gonna tell you, smart investors, they're still holding their gold, they're still holding their silver, and they're actually buying more for the next cycle of increase because we know in the 1970s and the early 2000s, 2001 to 2008, gold rallied some crazy 500%. Plus silver too. And so if you are a wise investor, then you're going to stay in the market. But I digress. Let's get to point number two, because point number two is political predictability or unpredictability. Ever since President Donald Trump took office, these world leaders, should I say, President Putin, the president of Denmark, the president of the UK, the prime minister, even the president of France are all side-eyeing America, so much in fact with these ICE reinforcements and immigration crackdowns that Spain themselves just legalized 500,000 illegal immigrants who had probably come from other areas in Europe, definitely Africa, perhaps India, and places like that. Meanwhile, the US is literally slaughtering people on the streets. And lastly, global reinforcement ability. See, the US has lost much of its power in a couple of different spheres, but especially global reinforcement, because there is nothing to reinforce if you do not have allies all over the world who are ready to reinforce your ideas alongside you. And my friend, look, when that weakens, so does the US passport. Even if the design never changes, even if we still have the same branding, the blue passport, because today there is currency, volatility, internal legitimacy crisis, and a declining diplomatic deference, okay? And the result is the broader agents are no longer assuming. They are verifying. They want to make sure no US spies are coming in the country. Make sure these US people, these expatriates and entrepreneurs are good people, because unfortunately, your leader of your country is a representation of the rest of the citizens in that country. And so you will see things such as verifications on how you earn, where you bank, maybe what used to be 3 months bank statements will turn into 6 months, how long you stay, what value you bring, and whether you are predictable or not. But this isn't all about bad news, because there is quiet opportunity here if you're looking in the right areas. And since you're here, you're already looking in the right area. But before I tell you about these opportunities, I want you to understand that governments don't just want 30, 60, 90-day tourists anymore. It's not enough. They want operators, entrepreneurs, stable families, capital holders, skilled professionals, AI engineers, quiet contributors that are not going to draw too much drama to the country, that are not going to cause any underlying issues, but are going to bring a highly valued skill set like AI engineering, marketing, copywriting, content writing, all of the things. And this is the rise of the 2026 Nomad Visa expansion class because, I mean, just in the last month, all of these opportunities have popped up from Spain to Thailand to Ghana. And I'm like, wow, 2026 is a big year for digital nomads and expatriates abroad. I mean, Spain just said that their digital nomad visa is now going to be a 5-year visa, especially if you are applying for it in the country of Spain and you're not applying for it at the US or Spain consulate in America, I should say. Now, that is really interesting because there are some more difficult countries that you could go to in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, wherever, that would want you to go to the consulate first. But countries like Spain, countries like Mauritius, countries like Thailand, actually Thailand is not one of them, countries like the Philippines allow you to go ahead and process your residence or your long stay visa while you're in that country, which makes these opportune. I mean, I look back at 2020 when we left America, my family of 7 and I, and guess what? When we left in 2020, well, back then there were 5 of us, but when we left in 2020, there were not as many digital nomad residencies and long-term stay visas available. It was very much the old system of, get a work and residence permit. But the digital nomad era, child, it is lit. It's amazing. It's one of the most fantastic things, especially for you as a US citizen, that is unfortunately a byproduct of the new American regime where you're like, I need to get out of here quick. I cannot stand being here and I want to go somewhere safe. I want to go somewhere where it's proven that you can get your residence, your digital nomad residency, your long-term stay visa, whatever class it is, because there are a lot of classes out there. And what I'm about to tell you about Thailand next is really going to blow your mind. Now, we saw that Spain isn't just opening doors, it's curating long stay residence and eventually citizenship within 5 years, which is such an easy pathway. But Thailand just did something crazy because they had the DTV, which was like a digital nomad visa, entry, exit every 6 months, but it lasted 5 years. Fantastic. You show you have 15 to 18K in the bank. You do so through your company or your W-2 employer. Either one of those routes work. And you also have the ability to go to school to learn how to cook there, take a Muay Thai class, and you could get it as well. But they just introduced, and I'm pretty sure this is going to literally shift the way new digital nomad and new residencies work. I don't even know if you would call this a digital nomad technically. This is more like a residence by investment, but it's one of the most affordable ones that exist currently in this world. I mean, this one is if you rent a place and you pay your rent up for 12 months, then you get residence that's renewable indefinitely every single year, provided that you're paying that rent 12 months ahead of time. Now, this is interesting because a lot of countries in West Africa already assume that you're going to do that. And so you get the residence just for paying that rent for 12 months. So I was like, wow, that's very advantageous, right? And then if you purchase a condo that's at least $96,000, by the way, Thailand also does mortgage financing, similar to countries in Africa like South Africa, Mauritius, Seychelles, they do mortgage financing as well and have freehold leases. Now, in Thailand, it's not a freehold lease. It's a 30-year lease. So it's not as good as some of the African countries that are on like a 99-year lease. But I mean, you can get a lot done if you have the investor mindset. You're getting this condominium. You purchase it for $90,000 on mortgage or whatever you would like to purchase it on. And then you get renewable residence every 15 months indefinitely. I think that's the new way. The new era of residency is going to be that process that Thailand put out. And so I'm excited to see if a Kenya picks it up, if a Madagascar, if a Mauritius, if a South Africa decides to pick this up, because it's a really, really interesting investment scheme that is not requiring too much capital. And this is also showing you that these nations are seeing it's not just about the ultra wealthy anymore. Like, there are smaller people that maybe make 200K a year, 300K a year, 100K a year, who can come in and boost the economy just as well, if not better, because they're more voluminous in number when they're coming to these countries. So I thought that was so interesting. Now, that is honestly Asia's answer to post-tourism migration. But get this, Ghana is also redeveloping their citizenship scheme. Now, the schemes that we've seen in Africa for citizenship, recently, citizenship by investment, have been Botswana and Sao Tome. I believe Botswana is 90,000 US dollars, and you get that permanent citizenship, a transfer into a Botswana bank account. And then I want to say Sao Tome and Principe is a nice $75,000 for you to get that citizenship by investment. But listen to Ghana. Now, they have been known to issue citizenship, but it wasn't a super transparent process. It was like, hey, you have to be in the country and know someone who knows someone. So everybody knew it was happening. They would throw events at the president's office and they would issue citizenship. But this time it's a transparent process where they're saying, hey, you can actually come in if you have proof that you are connected to Ghana through DNA ancestry. So that could be something like African ancestry, Ancestry.com, and you're probably already in the country. You probably have capital ties. You've probably been already investing. If you're already doing long-term settlement in Ghana or planning to, then they are offering you some citizenship that you can get while being in Ghana if you are of specifically Ghanaian descent. Now, Ghana is the type, if you are there, they may just decide to welcome you in and say, hey, you can just have residency and get your citizenship if you go at the right time and if you're there at the right time in the right place. Now remember, 2026 sits at the intersection of geopolitical chaos, changing algorithms, changing passport requirements, all of the above. And so these are indicators that there is still opportunity out there. Even if you have a US passport, even if the dollar is declining, if you start strategizing and you move now, then you are going to be a very, very happy person in the next 5 to 6 years, like my family is, especially since we left America in 2020 and did not go back, did not go every 30, 60, 90 days, but found long-term stability while abroad. And I know you can do the same thing. It's actually going to be a little bit more easy for you because these things did not exist back in 2020. And so I want you to take this video, share it with 20 people, and start to write down your plan. Oh, and if you would like to speak with us, speak with my husband, check out the description because we have links and a few ways that you can work with us as long as spots are available. And remember, countries do not want people that are going to strain their social systems. So if you're not already an entrepreneur, you need to do that before leaving. Go binge listen to the Introvert Marketer podcast on this channel from yours truly, a 9-year entrepreneur and marketing strategist who has helped her clients generate 31.9 million in revenue and counting. You don't need to wait on the next election to fix things, the next border crisis to happen, or the next market change to make your move. You can make it in the next 3 to 6 months, and it's going to be much easier than it was for us in 2020. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video.